Dear children, kindly take out Standard 6 Social Science, Chapter 10, page number 84. Children, in my previous class, we already started this chapter. Today, I am going to discuss about the Kushanas, Kanishka, the impact of the Saka and the Kushanas, then Kingdom of South, the Cholas, the Cheras and the Pandyas. So, let's start the chapter. The Kusanas were originally nomads of Central Asia. They first settled in Afghanistan and defeated the Indo-Greeks, the Sakas and the Parthians. Later, they occupied the entire plains of Punjab. In North India, the Kushanas established a strong empire and ruled from about 50 to 300 AD. The Kushana rule is particularly significant because under them only the civilizations of the Mediterranean world, Western Asia, China and India merged together. Next we'll see Kanishka. The most famous king of Kushana was Kanishka. His empire extended from Central Asia to northwest India. Kanishka had two capitals. One is Purushpura and other is Mathura, Uttar Pradesh. Kanishka created a calendar which came to known as the Saka calendar. The Shaka era starts counting years from 78 AD. The Shaka calendar is the one officially followed by the Indian government today. Kanishka patronized Buddhism. Hence, historians call him the second Ashoka. He organized an assembly of Buddhist monks in Kashmir to discuss the teachings of Mahayana Buddhism. This council is generally known as the Fourth Buddhist Council. Kanishka was not only a great conqueror but also a great patron of art and art literature. Famous Buddhist scholars like Ashwaghosha, Bhashumitra and Nagarjuna lived during his region. The well-known Indian physician and the writer of Charaka Sahita, Charaka also lived in his court. A new school of art known as the Mathura School of Art also progressed under Kanishka. It was Indian both in spirit and style. Kanishka was also a great administrator. He had divided his vast empire into many provinces which were ruled by his trusted governors called Kshatraps. Next we'll see the impact of the Sakas and the Kushanas. Now one by one we'll see 3 points are given. Number 1, it led to close contacts between Central Asia and India. Number 2, they introduced new styles of dressing. Turbans, tunics, trousers and heavy long coats were popularized by them. Point 3, Gandhara style became popular in carving the image of Buddha. Coins of Kanishka. See children. Sangam age. The word Sangam means assembly. Scholars and poets from different lands assembled at Madurai to participate in academic debates and discussions. Such a gathering of Tamil scholars was called Sangam. The Sangams were held frequently between 200 BCE and 300 CE. The works composed during the first two assemblies are lost. The third and the most important assembly was held at Madurai. During these assemblies, over 2000 poems were composed in Tamil. These poems were compiled into many books. This is known as the Sangam literature. This literature tells us about the society and culture of that period. Hence, historians call this period the Sangam age. There is a lot of things like archaeological excavations, old coins, and inscriptions that tell us about the life and culture of the people in the Sangam age. This is the only instance where a historical period has been named after an academic conference. Next, we'll see Kingdoms of South. The ancient history of South India revolves around three most powerful kingdoms: the Cholas on the western Coromandel coast, the Pandyas south of the Kaveri river, and the Cheras centered around Kerala. These three kingdoms flourished between 400 BCE and 300 CE. The Sangam literature refers to their heads as Movendar of three chiefs in Tamil. The southern half of the subcontinent is marked by a long coastline and with hills, plateaus, and river valley. That of the Kaveri is the most fertile. Chiefs and kings who controlled the river valleys became rich and powerful. The Cholas. The Chola kingdom was in the Kaveri delta. Their capital was Urair. Later on, Puhur became their capital. The two important Chola kingdoms were Ilara and Karikala. Karikala fought against the Cheras and the Pandyas. He even attacked Sri Lanka and occupied a part of it. He constructed many roads and encouraged trade with other regions. Next, we'll see the Cheras. The Cheras were also known as Kerala Putras. The Chera kingdom was spread over the present day Kerala and the southwest of Tamil Nadu. Bhaji was their capital. The most famous Chera king was Nandu Cheral. Nandu Cheraldan. He fought against the Cholas and Pandyas. He even captured a Roman fleet. Sangam literature talks about Roman ships carrying gold and black pepper. The Pandyas. In the southern India, the Pandyas were a prominent dynasty. The Pandya Empire was founded by Queen. She maintained a huge army. The Pandyas spread over the area between Madurai and Valley. Madurai was their capital. Nandu Chenjan was a successful warrior. He remained constantly involved in battle with the Cholas and the Cheras and the other rulers. He loved to compose poetry. He was a follower of the Vedic religion. His kingdom was rich and prosperous. Okay, students, thank you.